Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a March reading wrap-up. So this month I read 6 books, which is, you know, the average for me if I'm having a good reading month. So first I read Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. Now this is a novella. It is like a little over 100 pages, so it's a quick, fast read, and it's weird. Stephen Graham Jones is strange. His writing is very odd, and it's almost like written very like chaotic, almost like they're just his thoughts like pouring out. You're in the mind of one character who is deciding he needs to save all his friends from this mannequin that is like come to life and is murdering people. This is a slasher. It's not going to be for everybody, but I enjoyed it, and it's quick, so I recommend this one if you're into Stephen Graham Jones. I don't think he's for everyone, but it was a quick read, it was enjoyable, and it was fun. Next, I read The Nobodies by Laurel Elizabeth Hassara. Now, this was sent to me by Laurel. She's a friend of mine on Instagram, and this is her first book. It's a novella, and it follows 2 characters who are described as being society's undesirables, and it just follows them through their journey and their relationship together and how they get involved with a group of teenagers who are pretty bad news. This was an interesting story to me. It is very beautifully written. Laurel writes such beautiful prose, and she did a lot of research and spoke to a lot of priests, which are featured in this story, and the conversations and dialogue feels very real. This wasn't a particular favorite of mine because I would have liked to have seen more from the story, and I'm more into scarier things. This isn't really horror, it's more psychological thriller, I would say, but I definitely think Laurel is one to watch, and I highly recommend keeping an eye out for her and checking this one out. I think it was just released on March 22nd, so you should go check it out. And it's short, it's a quick read, and we love quick reads here. Next up, I read The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I actually just filmed a reading vlog for my experience, and I love this book. It is so good, and it is very similar to the movie because the author wrote the screenplay, and it follows a young girl who becomes possessed and the people who are trying to save her. So this is a very interesting story about man's fight for faith and good against evil, and it's just a thrilling, disturbing read, and it's perfect for people who love possession horror, so I highly recommend this one. And next I picked up Later by Stephen King. This is his latest release, and it's one of the hardback novels. I think that's what they're called, hard case crime novels. This is the first one of his I've ever read, the hard case crime, and it follows a young boy who can see dead people, and he gets kind of involved in some crime, some shady stuff with his mother's girlfriend or partner, and it's just a really interesting journey of this boy's life. It's a coming of age story sort of, and it has some similar vibes to it, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but I really enjoyed this one, and it's a really quick read as well. So this one I got through in about a day. I couldn't put it down, so I definitely want to check out some of his other crime novels because this was interesting. And the cover, I love it. Next I picked up The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. It follows a couple who have gone to the Swiss Alps to stay at a hotel that used to be an old sanatorium so that she can celebrate her estranged brother's engagement. And while they're there, some people get murdered, and then it, you know, goes crazy from there. I was so excited to read this because I love that concept. I love the setting. It sounded very The Shining. It's set in a hotel. It's in the Swiss Alps. I've been to Switzerland, and it's beautiful, and I wanted to go back there. I just thought the atmosphere was going to be... I wanted the creepy atmosphere, and unfortunately I didn't get what I wanted with this. I feel like she kind of skimped a little bit on the atmosphere. She didn't use it as much as I wanted her to, and the character is a little inept and incompetent for a police detective, and it's kind of some of the stuff that happens in this is a little too unbelievable for me, and I usually am good about suspending my disbelief, but this, I just couldn't do it. I was annoyed the whole time, and the final reveal of what happens just made me roll my eyes. I felt like it was just shoehorned in, and this one was a huge disappointment to me, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't recommend this one, but it's a part of Reese Witherspoon's book club, so I'm sure everybody's reading it right now. So, and lastly, I finished up my reading month with Good Neighbors by Sarah Langan. This book was awesome. It follows a bunch of different families who are living in a wealthier neighborhood called it's a wealthier street called Maple Street, and this woman who's kind of like the queen bee, she's pretty ruthless and kind of, I mean, she's evil, and she sets her sights on destroying this other family's life, basically. It's just crazy. It's a crazy look into suburbia and how rumors can spread like wildfire and really destroy a person's life. And I just thought it was wild. This book was wild. I didn't know where it was going. I went in sort of blindly, and I love this. I love Sarah Langan's writing, and I really want to check out her other stuff. I highly recommend this one. I've seen some people compare it to the Stepford Wives. I haven't read that yet, but I guess I kind of know what they're talking about. I've seen some people compare it to Rosemary's Baby, which it's not. It's comparable to Rosemary's Baby in that sense of paranoia and not being able to trust everybody around you. It's just a really enjoyable, wild read, and I highly recommend it. There you have it. Those are all the books I read in March. Did you read any of the books on my list? Do you like any of these books? Let me know down below. Hit subscribe if you aren't already, if you want to see more of this kind of content from me. And let's connect on social and become spooky besties so we can talk about spooky shit. And I'll talk to you next time, guys.